What's up guys, Syiler here, and I am back with another video, and this time we're on the PTR. We're going to be checking out the leveling changes and all that yazoo on a hunter with heirlooms, and we're just going to see basically how it feels, how it varies from live leveling, roughly how long it's going to take. Maybe we can figure out what's going to be best, what's not going to work. So this will take over our kind of normal leveling series where I just kind of level, chill out, chat about stuff, and we go from there. So I am on a hunter, as mentioned, and one thing that I thought was kind of interesting already, so I have heirlooms, we don't have any chance on them, which I should definitely check out, honestly, because that could be pretty interesting too. But, level 1, look at the heirlooms. 7 armor. So on live that has like 3 agility, some crit, and some haste or something. Not too much, but it still gives some kind of stat. And it's the same with all of this stuff, like none of it actually gives any damage in any combat. It just helps me survive. Now obviously wait, how much better is the bow versus the basic one? So it's a little bit better, it's double damage, so it's, you know, it's good. But outside of that, like even the trinket, I don't get any stats at all at level 1. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes as we progress, as they've tried to flatline the leveling more, you know, they're condensing the stats again soon as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but already we're going to be doing a lot less damage than you would on live, guaranteed. There's just no way that we don't. So we're going to be playing this out, and while we're playing, I've got a few topics to go on about. First of all is, you know, where we've been, what's going on right now, what's going on in the world of Syiler. You know, that's the common one that we talk about, and it's been a while since I made a video again. Talk about the future, what's potentially happening, and yeah, we'll go from there. So normally, what I do at the early levels, 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, depending on how crowded and stuff it is, I will just grind these boars. But based on us not having any damage increase, I don't even know if that's going to be possible for us. So it takes us, yeah, I've used all manager already. It takes us like what? God, a lot of autos. A lot of autos to kill just one boar. We're getting a decent amount of experience at least, like, you know, a few boar kills and we're still gonna level. So the actual XP from kills isn't too bad, but the actual time it takes us to kill something is pretty horrendous. I'd be curious how much enchants change things, whether enchants are still significant or if they're like 0 stats as well until you hit like level 2 or whatever. So we have hit level 2. Let's take a look at our gear now. Still nothing though, still not a single damage stat. The bow went up a little bit of damage, that's good at least. But yeah, in general, so this trinket might be our best way to actually kill things. I think we just kind of tag everything. Oh my god, the attack speed is so slow too. And then just hope the tentacles kill things? No, even the tentacles are doing absolutely nothing, that's crazy. Normally these tentacles would just kill everything on their own. So mob grinding earlier as a hunter doesn't look viable. Maybe it's good as like an ally shaman, which sounds weird, but well, not an ally shaman, just a shaman in general. Anything that has like a dot early on, ally shaman's pretty up. Once again, not ally shaman. Shaman's pretty good at low levels. I don't know if they changed it, but in live, shaman gets flame shock with no cooldown, level 1. So you can just run around and flame shock everything. It's a great time. Shaman is pretty underrated for early leveling. So we're going to pick up our next quests, but yeah, like, there's no mob grinding early for Hunter anymore. I know that much. It's just way too slow. Way too slow. So, on to the main topics. First of all, where I've been, what's going on. As you may or may not know, I've been working for the past 1.5 years now. I've been working for a company called ESL in their like video network department, which handles MCN related stuff, which is like YouTube and Twitch. And, you know, it handles influencers, we go to events, we work with clients, you know, kind of act as like a middleman between the client and the influencer and stuff like that. But I won't be working for ESL anymore at the end of December, so very, very soon. I'll be done with ESL and I'll be moving on to try and do my own stuff. I've got some ideas. Part of that is I would definitely like to get back into streaming and Twitch. I've missed it quite a lot, and I've just not had the time really. When you work in a full-time job, it's hard to find the motivation and time. You just kind of want to chill out. You don't want to be finishing work to work more. You know, and some people can do that. But I'm just too lazy, honestly. I'm not gonna be around the bush. I'm a pretty lazy guy. So yeah, I just couldn't do it. But now that we've got more free time, I definitely want to try and get that on the go again, get some streaming and videos. In terms of content you can expect to see, we'll be doing some World of Warcraft, obviously. That'll be the main chunk of content you can see on the channel, as always. Getting back into some guides, doing some leveling stuff, you know, checking out the game, hopefully getting into the Battle for Azeroth alpha or beta or whatever, and we'll check that out as soon as we can. But just general content, I'm going to be doing quite a lot of Mythic Pluses. I've got a character on NA and EU geared up. I have a 950 Frost DK, which sounds crazy, but I only started playing it, I think it was exactly a week and 2 days ago that I leveled it from level 100. So in a week and 2 days, we've got it from level 100 to max to 950 eye level. So that's not too shabby. Now, definitely not, I can't take all the credit for that because I got some help through some Mythic Plus. But once I was able to stand on my own 2 feet, I was working hard. I was grinding. So we got the character pretty good. And then I've got my Windwalker on EU, which I'm only like 946, I think. So we need to catch up a little bit on my Windwalker. But I have put most of my time into my DK at the moment. Still enjoying the Windwalker more than the DK so far, to be honest. It just feels better. Actually, Windwalker feels like it's in a pretty good spot PvE-wise at the moment. So I definitely like my Windwalker right now. So you're going to see World of Warcraft, videos, guides, all that jazz. I'm actually going to be streaming near enough daily as well. So if you want to come over to the stream, watch some Mythic Plus, watch some raiding, hang out, definitely head over to twitch.tv/Syiler. Over Christmas, obviously, probably not going to be streaming. I'll probably stream tomorrow, which is Christmas Eve. I'll probably stream the day after Christmas, but I will not be streaming Christmas Day, as I won't be here. I'll be visiting family. So, no streamerinos. But once the new year ticks around, we'll be full motion. Full steam ahead, that's the word I was looking for. Kill these guys. We need some peons too. I also wouldn't mind doing some content on some other MMOs. It wouldn't be much, but it'd be maybe like a series similar to my leveling series where I just kind of level through the game and check it out. And, you know, nothing serious, just kind of like a casual take at the MMO. Just play an hour or two here and there, nothing craze, and see how it feels, you know, just maybe Final Fantasy, you know, we'll level through Stormblood and I'll talk over it and see what it's like, you know, you get to see the game. And then it might help some of you guys who are looking for like a side MMO find one that you're interested in. And then I don't feel too stressed to actually play it. Like I wouldn't be looking to cover the MMO as like a main MMO. It'd just be a very, very casual take on it. So that's something I'm going to try. Who knows if it'll work out. But that's what we're looking to do at the moment as well. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. And then the final little project we're going to be doing is I'm going to be messing around with some handheld/mobile games on a separate channel. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link in the description below. I'm not going to talk about that too much. But if you're interested in that stuff, you know, feel free to check it out. So that's been what's going on. As mentioned, not going to be working for ESL anymore. No, like, nothing bad happened there. I'd kind of reached the point where I was satisfied. You know, I'd learned a lot. I'd kind of seen a lot, and it was just draining a bit. So I just thought, you know, time to move on, see some other stuff, and for about 6 months, I'm going to give some of my own stuff a go. I've got some projects in mind that I want to work on outside of videos and streaming and stuff, and we'll see if we can get it working. If we can't, after the 6 months, we'll go back on the, you know, the salaryman ladder, and we'll look to apply to another company. I did actually throw in an application at Twitch recently as well, just in case. Like, if I got a job at Twitch, I'd probably consider working at Twitch, but that was over a month ago now. It's like a month and a half, not heard anything back. So I'm gonna assume that we didn't quite make the mark, you know? It happens. It's sad, but you know. Things work in mysterious ways, so I like to think the hand of fate was like, nope, no job right now, you do you for a little bit. And then go back looking. Or maybe we don't need to go back looking. Maybe it'll all work out. So we shall see. So that's in terms of what's going to be coming up, what's going on. Not going to be really touching too much PvP. Maybe I'll have like a day a week where I just chill and do battlegrounds and stuff on stream. But in general, probably not really going to be looking at PvP. Mainly going to be focusing on PvE, especially Mythic Plus. I've actually been quite enjoying my Mythic Pluses. Apart from yesterday. Oh my god. I had a lower Key. And I started off at 17. It was going, well, it was going okay. It was not the best group, honestly. I didn't really look at people's Raider IOs or whatever. I just brought people that looked decent enough. That was the first mistake. So we ended up failing the timer. We got to Morose, and we'd failed the timer. And then we wiped to like people just standing in the big kind of rectangle attack that one of the ads does. We kept wiping to things like that. And the mage that was one of the main culprits to taking damage from like things that he could avoid was blaming the healer for it. And then, you know, got it in his head that he's a god and left the group. He was like, oh, you guys are bad, blah, 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 leaves the group. You know, the typical. So then that key's dead. We had to leave, start again. And then I got, actually, where's my hammer? Where's my mount? Let's get that on my bars. And then I looked at Raider IOs and I got people that were really high up. I ended up with like a 2.8k tank, a 2.4k DPS, and you know, like a 1.9k healer or whatever. So the group was pretty stacked. Like, it was really good. Went in there, completely destroyed everything past the first boss. It was going really well. And then the tank pulls the bit below the like opera boss, where it's quite a big, you know, dangerous pack. It doesn't go well, we wipe, and then 2 people leave the group. And it's like, really? It was really going well as well. I assume those people were just there to kind of beat their old timers or whatever, and if they don't do it, they just leave and look for another group. Kind of sad. So you've got to kind of find the middle ground for inviting people based on Raider IO, I think. Like, don't invite the super high people, don't invite the super low people. Yeah, the middle ground. Those are the people that are probably going to be the more chill, I guess. You know, people who are good, but not too full of themselves. So then I finally got a... so the key dropped down to, then to a 15. So then I invited more people. Yeah, I wasn't too picky because it was a 15, but I was still trying to find decent-ish people. And then we went over the timer by like 15 minutes. It was pretty bad. I had a mage doing like 500k-ish on average, and it was just like, and he had like, you know, good enough gear, like 950 plus. So it wasn't the best of runs. But we got it done finally. After 3 lower Kara attempts, I finally completed one. It was pretty tilting. But we got there. So outside of that, generally if the Mythic Plus runs go okay-ish, it's not too bad. But I think I'm going to try and either make my own Mythic Plus guild or find one that kind of just more focuses on Mythic Plus, just so I don't have to play with randoms as much. I'd like to have like a, you know, a set group of people that I can just go with, you know, They're like, oh, anyone want to do a key? And I'll be like, yeah, get me in. That sounds more ideal than just pugging, honestly. Pugging is not the funniest thing in World of Warcraft. Like yesterday as well, I was doing an Antaurus Heroic on my monk. I have ahead of the curve on US. I don't have it on EU yet. And I was just trying to pug through, get as many bosses as I could killed. And I spent about 3 hours trying to kill the Portal Keeper. I joined like 4 different groups, and then I got in a group that eventually killed it. But we'd pull, we'd wipe, someone would leave, and then it would take us about 15 minutes to pull again. So it was, and that's no exaggeration either, literally, like, I was in with this group for about 2 hours, and I think we pulled between the, what's it called, Antoran Command or whatever they're called, High Command, and Portal Keeper. We probably pulled those 2 bosses about 8 times in those 2 hours. Like, between them. So like, maybe like 2 attempts on Portal Keeper and like 6 on the other guys. Around that. So it wasn't the best experience, let me tell you. So if anyone actually does high-end keys on EU or US that's on Horde, throw me a real ID invite or whatever, and just give me a shout if you want to do keys. If I'm online, I'm most likely down to do a Mythic Plus key. As long as it's something like 15 plus, I'm down. I'm not noob. I'm definitely not what I used to be at the game. I'm getting there, but yeah, it's gonna take me a little while to get back to being decent again. But I'm definitely not gonna int your group too much. Maybe. If I do, I've just got crazy lag that day. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So, those are what's going on right now, basically. I'm hoping... Oh yeah, let's take a look at our gear, actually. So we're level 5 now, and we finally have stats. 1 agility on each piece. Oh boy. So before you'd get like 40% crit and stuff at this point. But right now we have 11%, so that's 1 more than base. We have 3% haste, and we don't even have a % of versatility. Oh boy, they have definitely tuned this down quite a bit. And you can tell by the speed I'm killing mobs too. It's not too bad at the moment, like we're near one-shotting. Well, these are actually pleb guys, this doesn't really count. Let's find a mob that's semi-significant. So it's taking me like, it's not too bad. It's not the worst. Isn't the best, but it's definitely not the worst. Alright, so we're in combat, so we're just gonna run our way over here. What else? Oh, so the other thing I wanted to talk about to kill some time as well was the BlizzCon announcements. I'm a little bit late to the party on this one. Obviously, BlizzCon was a while ago now, but for anyone who cares for my opinions and my thoughts, some of you do, I think. Maybe. You at least put up with me. I'll take that. So first of all, I guess we'll do the bigger one. It depends on what you consider the bigger one, but I think the classic announcement was the more unexpected one. We expected an expansion announcement. I wasn't expecting Battle for Azeroth, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, the classic announcement, very, very surprising for multiple reasons. One, I just didn't think they were going to do it. Not anytime soon. 2, the fact that it's not going to be coming anytime soon makes the announcement a little bit more random as well. It wasn't like they didn't have anything to announce for World of Warcraft. So it was kind of strange that they did it now, because apparently it's not going to be coming until like 2019 or something like that. So, okay. Goodbye that guy. I don't think the Scorpion's going to make it over here. We can try though. Come on. No, my pet's got aggro. Actually, we nearly have enough. Wait, maybe he's done the poison already anyway. Alright. So let's get that down. Let's just wait. And kill him off. Easy as pie. So, it was pretty unexpected. I definitely, when they announced that, I was like, huh, interesting. But the whole thing concerns me a little bit. Now, it's not that I'm not excited for it. I've never really been one that's too like hyped for the whole classic realms anyway. I mean, I've played some private realms. I played a little in vanilla when it was vanilla. Obviously, I didn't really... It was when I was kind of new to the game. So I didn't really understand the game fully when I was playing vanilla. It was just kind of like a game that I checked out. That being said, I definitely enjoyed, like, BC was when I understood the game a lot more, and then Wrath was the expansion I enjoyed the most out of, like, all these random expansions. I'm not too sure if it was because of Wrath itself, or just the group of people I was playing with, like the frame of mind I had for the game back then. You'll never know. But the classic announcement wasn't that crazy, and it's something I'll play definitely when it comes out, depending on what the model is. If they want to charge me a lot of money, I probably will pass. But I'd imagine quite a few of the people I play WoW with will want to play vanilla anyway, so I'll definitely check it out. I'll end up playing with them and having some fun for a bit. Whether I'll end up like going hard with it, doing content, I don't know. Probably not, but we'll see. You know, it's a long time away. Might end up being super like hyped for it when it comes around. Right now, I'm not too much. But as I did mention, I do have some concerns. And the first concern is the already apparent like split of what people want the vanilla to be. Some people want it to be, you know, exactly how it was back then. No changes, an identical replica of how vanilla was. All the bugs, all the crappy specs, like everything that vanilla had to offer, they want it exactly the same. And then you've got another bunch that kind of wants them to, you know, tweak some specs so they're semi-viable, get rid of all these annoying bugs, you know, like make things make a bit more sense. So that already concerns me because you're going to have this split of people who are going to be upset by the thing being changed because it's not what they want. And you're going to have the people who get upset because it's exactly the same and they don't want to deal with vanilla how it actually was. And then you've got to think of the new player base that's never played vanilla that's going to be going over. If they don't do some minor like quality of life changes, I don't see many people wanting to play it for very long that are new. And that might not be an issue, but then you've got to think about, well, how do they actually make it work? And when I say that, what I mean is, so say, you know, in the beginning, it's going to get a bunch of hype. It's obvious. There's going to be a lot of people wanting to play it. So then does Blizzard do one big server? But then you're going to have queues, you're going to have the spawn area, the starting areas are going to be an absolute nightmare when the game comes out. If it's like a replica of vanilla how it was, you're not going to have mob sharing, you're going to have these long respawns on some of these mobs. It's not going to be the best experience to start out, and that's going to put a lot of people off. So you're going to get most people who make it to maybe level 20, maybe level 30. So then this bit, that guy actually scared me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Just like, rah, out the tree! So then you're going to get all these people that quit because it's, you know, it's not a fun time. And then if they do just 1-2 big servers, then you've now got servers that are much less populated. Which actually, if they do 1-2 big servers, that would probably be fine. You'd have to deal with big queues and stuff in the beginning, but then, you know, it'd be horrible in the beginning, but eventually it would balance out and people quit and stuff. I guess that's probably the more logical way to go. But then that potentially kills off the amount of people that will want to play it long term. And I don't think Blizzard will want to do that. So then they'll probably make more than 1 or 2 servers. They'll probably make a few if we're going for like a replica vanilla experience. And then if you do have a few servers, wow, that wasn't rich. If you do have a few servers, then you're going to have the issue I mentioned a minute ago where they end up low pop. You got people spread out across multiple servers, and it's not a very fun time. Unless they offer free server transfers eventually, which could be an option. Then you're just going to have these weird kind of half-dead servers, essentially. Another fix could be their new server, like, shard technology. But then it's not the iconic vanilla experience. You can have people phase in and stuff like that. And you're going to upset some of the player base. But me personally, I think them going down the line of doing some quality of life changes is what they need to do. You know, you don't need to change the vanilla experience. You don't need to make it easier. I'm not saying anything like that. But some of the quality of life stuff we've known or grown to know from Live WoW. So things like shared mob tagging. Like, what would be the harm in that being in vanilla WoW? I don't see how or why anyone would have a complaint in that. If you're killing a mob, someone can help you kill that mob, and you both get credit. Some people could be like, oh, well, I want to fight this mob 1v1 in a glorious battle, like, whatever. I guess, but, you know, you're going to probably, I guess most people probably won't help you if they won't get credit. But then you're going to have issues where if someone comes in, kills all the mobs in the area, you're sat there waiting then. Sure, you want to do your glorious 1v1 with the Murloc, but you're going to be waiting for that Murloc for quite some time. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. So shared mob tagging, the phasing, you know, the shard technology they have. Wait, why don't I have Razor Hill? Huh. Normally you have the flight path to Razor Hill. Do I have to actually go on the wolf? Oh my god. Fine, let's go. Let's rock, I guess. And then also what else? Like the maybe AoE loot. That's not that big of a deal though. That's a very, very big quality of life change. Like it doesn't need to be there, it'd just be nice to have. And you know, just little things like that. They don't have to actually change the experience in general. Like the mobs can still dodge, parry, and you know, immune your spells or whatever, that's fine. You die to a Murloc because it literally like RNGs, like out RNGs you in a sense. I've had that happen a few times on private servers. You're just playing a shaman, beating down a Murloc, and it'll be like, dodge, parry, resist, and it kills you. You're like, ah, oh, well played, Murloc, well played. Things like that can stay. Like, if people want that kind of experience, it's obviously going to push away some of the new players, but I think no matter what they do anyway, people are going to drop off. Like, there's going to be no situation where they can make it perfect where everyone's happy. So I see that as the more, from my views, the more logical approach. Like, keep the general vanilla experience, but just make some quality of life changes. But I think the ones that want the exact experience with no changes and stuff aren't really thinking about the consequences, I guess. And yeah, there's probably consequences to what I'm thinking as well. You don't really look at all the good and bad when you're voicing your opinion, because you think your opinion's right, you know? It's the unfortunate thing about opinions. But we'll see how it works out. I'm not too sure how or where they're going to go with it yet. It'll be interesting to see, and it's good to see them like actually asking the community what they think. It's kind of sad that the community already has like people getting banned from the forums and stuff because they can't voice their opinion in a nice way. They're flaming and, you know, calling people like idiots and telling them to off themselves and stuff. It's not pretty. I think they actually made it so you had to have a paid WoW account to actually be able to comment, which is probably smart-ish, because there are some people who are hardcore private server people who have a good opinion, but you do get a lot of people who just come in who like play WoW for free. Like, that's all they want to do. They don't really care about, you know, the private server experience or the vanilla server experience or whatever. So they just come in with their opinion and like, oh yeah, just make sure it's free. Anyway, so those are mostly my thoughts on vanilla. As I said, I'll check it out. I'll definitely end up playing it a bit. Who knows how much? It depends on what's going on game-wise, you know, live WoW-wise, and also other game-wise at the time. Maybe there's something else that catches my interest. It's definitely not up there as like something I'm super hyped about, but I'm relatively interested, you know. If it comes at a good time, I'll check it out. In terms of Battle for Azeroth, it was kind of hard to get excited about that too. It sounds weird. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't like WoW anymore or something. But we just didn't really hear enough from Battle for Azeroth. Yeah, we heard some of the features and stuff, but I think there's still a good chunk of stuff we don't know. And that kind of left me thinking like, huh, what are they going to do about this, and what's going on with this? And some of the stuff they did announce, like the RNG generated maps for the 3v3, either PvE or PvE/PvP thing, sounds pretty good. The changes to PvP realms is interesting. It'll be curious to see how that works out with the rewards and stuff, but the idea of that coming from a PvE realm is pretty cool. I'm not too sure how PvP like realm players will feel, but playing on a PvE realm and just being able to, you know, one day think, you know what, I want to go and fight people, and being able to go to Orgrimmar and swap, sounds great. I definitely like the idea of only being able to swap in a major city, so you can't just swap when when there's no one nearby or whatever. You have to actually make a long commitment to swap back and forth. I think that's definitely a good way to approach it. It'll be dependent on... Where's the pig? I can hear him being beat on. Oinkers, where are you? Oinkers, I'm coming. Wait, where? What? Where is the pig? He's like under the floor. Alright. Well, good luck, pig. Good luck. What else we got? The Horde and Alliance starting in different zones was... we'll see how that works out. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. It'll be interesting. Personally, I think... like... not mop. Legion style was fine, where it's just different zones. You can pick which one you want to start in. With the new expansion, you have to start in the Horde section. You finish the Horde, then you move over to the Alliance. So, not 100% on that one, but we'll see how it pans out once again. Once the beta and stuff comes out, I'll get a better idea of how it's going to flow. And it might be super good. Might all make sense story-wise and stuff and feel like a good experience. But from what we've seen so far, yeah, I'm not 100% on that one, to be honest. What else was there announced for the expansion? Legendaries are gone. See, the legendary system's kind of weird. Like, for example, on my Frost DK, I got my first legendary. I got Cold Heart, which is pretty good. And then I grinded. Finally got my second one, and it was Cephas, and it doesn't currently beat out my legendary belt, the crafted one, because I already have good rings. So it's... you can see the faults with the legendary system currently, and I think they'd have to do a big overhaul with it. They definitely have to make current legendaries or new legendaries more similar on DPS or whatever, or just change them in general. Maybe they're just stat sticks, just higher level stat sticks. That could have worked, but they chose to just scrap it in general, and I think that's fine. Like, I liked the idea of the legendary system, but the implementation was kind of lackluster. Like, they missed the mark, essentially. So that's unfortunate, but it's gone. It's whatever. Artifact weapons going in the expansion. See, I'm fine with us being able to get new weapons again. It kind of felt a bit bleh, especially being locked into one weapon type. That was probably my biggest complaint, was the fact that my monk can only use fist weapons, for example, and my shaman can only use, well, shaman's a bit different because it can transmog maces into axes and stuff, but there's a few, like, feral locked into daggers. Like, you don't see the daggers very often, but it's just an example. So, it was a little weird. I was hoping that we'd eventually see, like, the different weapon skins, like the locked ones or whatever, would actually be a different weapon type in general. I'm sure they could make it work somehow. Like, oh, this skin is no longer the fangs, it's now the tail of the feral king or whatever, I don't know. And it's a big staff. They could make it work somehow. That would have been nice. And, you know, it's the same weapon, essentially, you know, same traits and stuff, same relics, but it's just no longer daggers, it's a staff, so you can have a transmog staff if you want. But, yeah, just being locked into one weapon type was a bit weird. Especially, one thing that really ticked me off with playing Windwalker was I went and got the light set from Argus, you know, where you got all the weapon skins. And they didn't include any fist weapons. And it was just kind of like, what? what do you mean? So, Bear Druids, Windwalker Monks, kind of Ellie Shaman, didn't get any transmog from that. It was such a weird design. Like, why would you lock people into using one weapon type, add transmog weapons to the game in the same expansion, and not add one for each of the locked weapon types? It was, I don't know, it was odd. Very, very, very odd. But way gone past my point here. As always, what I wanted to say was the main thing I'll miss about the current system is the big traits that actually make it like a difference to your rotation and the way your class plays out and like defensives and stuff. Those are some things I'll miss. And also the spell you get from your weapon. Like, some of them feel quite core to the spec at this point. And yeah, they're adding some of them to talents. I don't think any of them are going to be core spells though, like things that you just get. And I think that needs to be the case. I think everyone who has like a a skill right now that's kind of like core to their spec, in a sense, should just get to keep it. Like, oh, the weapon got destroyed, but the essence of Tyrion lives on inside you, and you can summon forth Ghost Tyrion to do Wake of Ashes. Why not? Like, they can make it work. They can make anything work at this point. You know, they've done some crazy stuff in this game, so they can make something like that make sense. So I hope that they end up doing something along those lines. I'm glad to see things like Soothe and stuff back. Hopefully they do a lot more. Like for enhanced shamans, I'd love, absolutely love, to see totems back. Even if it's not things like Fire Elemental, even though I do miss Fire Elemental carrying my ass in map. Like, throw down Fire Elemental, start the fight. That guy's doing like 80% E damage. You're just chilling. Great time. You're just there to buff your Fire Elemental. Sit on his back while he carries you through the fight. I loved it. But no, not just that. Like the utility stuff of Enhanced. Like Grounding Totem, Tremor Totem, Cap Totem, Slow Totem. You know, even the Healing Stream Totem and stuff. Like, those were quite nice. And then going even further, things like Healing Tide Totem, Ancestral Guidance, Healing Rain. You can use Healing Rain right now as Enhanced, and I think most people do. I don't play Enhanced currently, but those are just things that kind of separated the average Enhanced player from a better Enhanced player, because you could really make use of your utility in a fight and go from, you know, doing really good damage, but also a significant amount of healing, saving your raid during like a big like mechanic, and you could just do a lot more. It felt pretty good, but now it's just DPS. Like you just do DPS and throw in a bloodlust every once in a while. Not quite as crazy. So I'd love to see stuff like that return. Definitely would, because it really does make the difference between, you know, your average dude. Where is the spyglass? Oh, I have the spyglass. I thought it was something you clicked on. I remember it being like a tripod for some reason. I guess not. Adding the new like artifact neck. That's whatever. The removing tier set bonuses. I'd say I'll miss them, and in some degree I will. Like, having cool tier sets was always pretty nice. But nowadays they're really just like damage increases, and you end up locked into like weird setups and stuff. And then you have like tier 20 being better than tier 21, so you gotta go grind out tier 20 with high Warforge or Titan Forge just to use that, and it's weird. At this point, I don't know, maybe some kind of tier set like sticker that you can put on yourself. Maybe it's a shirt once you collect so many pieces from the raid. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not too upset about them removing tier sets. I'll miss them, and they were cool to have, especially some of the old ones. But the issue they've grown into nowadays is the tier sets end up being so impactful to the spec that when you lose it, it feels like you're playing a different class again, and you miss like having this tier set that made your class feel really fun to play. And then you end up with the next tier where it's just like, increases your storm strike damage by 10%. Woo! Like, it doesn't actually really do anything. But last tier you have like, gives you a chance to proc Ascendance for 4 seconds. Like, that's not what it is, that's the legendary, but you had stuff like that felt a lot more fun and changed the spec, and you had these moments where it felt really cool when you got those procs. And then you have these other tier sets that are just very passive and just not very fun. So I'm okay with them removing tier sets. That's whatever. But in general, I wanted to talk more about Battle for Azeroth, but I've waffled for a bit too long, as always. Maybe next video we'll talk a bit more about BFA. Definitely looking forward to it though. I'm curious to see what else they're going to bring to the table with it. As I said, they didn't really announce that much. There was quite a lot announced, but I feel like there's a big chunk we're still missing, that we're still waiting to hear about. Allied races are kind of cool too, like standing up trolls and stuff. They're interesting. I don't think I'll roll any, but yeah, interesting. But for now, we're going to be done. We nearly hit level 10, so next video we can get level 10, move to a different zone, go from there. We won't be able to do dungeons because it is the PTR, and I don't think we'll get queues. But we'll carry on the grind. We've been leveling for 38 minutes, and I'm level 9. Normally I'm level 10 within 15-20 minutes on live. So it does show quite a significant difference. Now obviously I'm not leveling quite the same as I would on live. I'm doing it as more of like a chill. And we're not in a huge rush, but it is still quite significant. Like the damage difference, the XP difference, it's all definitely lower. So far 1 to 10 is definitely slower. Whether I'll be able to figure out a way to do it sub 20 minutes, who knows. Maybe not as a hunter anymore, maybe as some kind of like dot class you could do it, but that depends on whether you dot one-shots the mob, like the full duration of the dot will kill the mob. Let's see stats. So we're nearly level 10, and we've barely gained anything on most of these pieces. Like, some of them have like an extra stat here and there, but in general, yeah, like we've gained 1% crit from level 5, 2% haste, and we're still not gained a bit of versatility. I'm not too sure how much agility we had, but we probably gained like another 4 maybe. Not too much. Yeah, 1 there. Yeah, it's around 4 agility. So, leveling changes are definitely interesting. We'll see how they pan out, I guess. If you have any zone in particular you want me to check out, let me know, and we'll probably go check it out at some point. Now, the way the zones work, if you're not familiar, you level in zones differently now. You can level in Ashenvale all the way to 60 if there was enough quests. So you can go to that zone at any point. I could go do, Barons for 30 levels and then go to Ashenvale for another 20 levels if there's enough quests, which there isn't, but you could do something weird like that nowadays. Or you could go do Winterspring till 50 and then go to Ashenvale till 60. It's kind of weird. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. So, yep, if there's a zone in particular you'd like to see how it pans out and at a specific level as well, let me know, and we can probably squeeze that in. But for now, we're going to be done because this is quite a long video. Hopefully you've enjoyed the chit chat and the catch up, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.